So this weekend is the second weekend of deer season in California in the D7 zone, and I'm here hunting by myself. So this weekend I just wanted to kind of document it. I know it's going to be fun. I know I will learn a lot, and even if I don't get anything, I probably won't. Let's be realistic. It is still a great time and doing what I love. Now, I won't be giving you any advice or anything like that because I don't really know what I'm doing. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. That way you can stay updated on anything coming up because it is hunting season, so there will be lots of things happening. So right now I have Friday evening, which is just enough to set up my tent. It's just me and my dog. And then I have all day Saturday and then about half of day Sunday. So let's see how this weekend will go. Just in time. It is right now 6 o'clock in the evening, and I have just enough time to set up my tent and just, have a relaxing evening and set up everything for tomorrow morning. So right now I'm just sitting here overlooking a canyon. It's about an hour after sunrise. Deer like canyons to sort of travel up and down, but I can't really see a whole lot, so there's no point of using my binoculars because there's a lot of trees here and my vision is limited. So it's the question of, do I sit and wait? Do I move on somewhere else? It's like you never know. So I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit and see what happens, and then later on as the day goes on I'm going to try to find a lookout point where I could see into far distance where the deer are supposed to be bedding down during the day, and this way I could see them. Waiting and watching and waiting. So it is now 11:30 and I've sat here for a couple of hours. Nothing is really happening, but I guess that's just how it is. There are a lot of hunters on the other side of this hill, and I heard one shot, and I was hoping that maybe they'll push the deer this way, but I haven't seen anything, so it's the same question: do I stay or do I go? So I think I'm gonna change location. I just walked over here, and it's kind of like the same type of scenery, but I have a little bit more of a vantage point, so I'm just gonna go look out there. The rocks and the trees with the shade are supposedly great for the deer because they like to bed down behind them so nobody sees them. So I've been just looking at that, and I'm just being patient, and I'll probably just stay here all day, and tomorrow morning I might go to a different area, so we'll see what happens. So I changed location, and this is just around the corner. I could see a lot more things. I have a better view, but everything is so much further. So if I see a deer, it's like 400 or 500 yards. So I know I would miss, but the good news is they wouldn't actually know that I spotted them because I'm just too far. So they probably wouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. So I could maybe find a way to get closer to them. But so far, everything has been pretty uneventful. I only heard that one shot earlier. Haven't seen anything at all. It is pretty warm. I'm very surprised. I'm at almost 9,000 feet, and I thought it would be a lot colder, but I don't know. The deer has to be up here because there's really not a whole lot higher that they could go right now. I came down from those rocks. It ended up getting really, really hot, and I just figured I might as well go to a different place. So I came back towards the campsite, and I just hiked through part of the forest. It wasn't a lot, and then I found myself in the middle of this meadow. So I know a lot of people think that the deer will just pop out right around sunset, and a lot of people say no, that will never happen. But there is some water. I don't know if you could see that, but I could see it shining. So that's some source of water. And it is about 5 o'clock right now. So the sun is going down in about 2 hours or so. Actually, less than 2 hours. And I just have a feeling they might be coming through here. I don't know what to expect, but I think it's kind of worth to wait it out. So all day I have only heard that one shot in the morning. I saw a lot of trucks going by. Haven't really seen anyone on foot. Maybe there's nobody around here. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So I hunted from sunrise to sunset today, and it was so gorgeous. I took about an hour break. I came back to the campsite, but it's just so absolutely beautiful. I'm at 8,500 feet elevation, and you have these huge cliffs where you could look over these huge canyons, and you could see everything. You could see far, far away, and you have these huge rocks, these huge boulders. And interestingly, I didn't see anything, not one single deer, which is surprising, but it's not discouraging. It was very hot, so I don't know if the deer are any higher up. There's really not a whole lot of places you can go. But speaking of the weather, this was crazy. Last night my heater ran out, and that is not good when it's September and you're at 8,500 feet high. It can be really cold at night. I have camped before 55 degrees back in the day, and I didn't have a heater, and I was shivering all night, and it was so uncomfortable. So I have this huge propane tank, and it's halfway full, and I hook it up, and after 5 minutes my heater starts making these funny noises, and then it's out. It was like, oh my god. So I have these green propane tanks, these little bottles. I hook it up and it never came on. So I was like, this is not happening. But I put on all my clothes. I had like 2 socks and 2 pants. I have on these thermal pants. They're really, really good. Thermal shirts, another t-shirt, another sweatshirt, a little face mask thingy, a beanie, my mittens, and I was just sleeping like this, like a mummy, because my dog was not in a cuddly mood. But I have an air mattress that helps. I have a sleeping bag, a little thin blanket on my mattress, a huge thick mattress. So I actually slept really well. First it was kind of cold, it was tossing and turning, but all night it felt good. It was okay. I was not cold. So I guess it's gonna happen again tonight. Hopefully it's not any colder. Um, but I do have fire, as you could see. You gotta have campfire when you camp. But this is not a real fire because there's actually a fire restriction right now. You cannot have a campfire, you cannot have anything like that. You could use a camp stove or anything with propane. So I bought this I don't know what it's called, but like this outdoor campfire thing for $100, and I could just hook up my propane tank to it, and it just burns, and it's fine because there are no embers flying out, and I could just shut it off. And I don't care if it uses up my propane because obviously there's no heater. So this is all that happened today. It was great. Interestingly, I have hardly been eating. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see pictures of all this delicious food. I always have all kinds of steaks, and it's just so good. But I was told I need to like downsize. If you're gonna go hunting and camping, you need to like downsize everything so that it doesn't take too long to set up. Sort of a Spartan lifestyle, like dehydrated foods and one spoon and one fork. So I actually have been bringing a lot less food, less and less, and it's still too much. And basically last night for dinner, I had half of my salad, and then today I had that for lunch. And during the day I packed all kinds of stuff like cheese and crackers and protein bars, and I was just kind of eating that all day. I made my coffee, took it with me, and some water, and I'm not even hungry. But I did bring one of those dehydrated foods I was gonna eat, and I guess no dinner for me, so I'm getting used to that. So that's basically all I have to say. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you could see the moon. It's like right behind me. And actually on the video everything is pitch dark, but in real life the sky is still a pretty blue, and where the sun went down there's still a little bit of light. And I think there's a wildfire somewhere because I saw some red and burgundy and black, and it looked like smoke. So hopefully everybody's okay. But I'm gonna hang out a little bit more and then go to sleep and wake up. Tomorrow's Sunday morning, so I'm just gonna check out the area behind me. The really cool stuff about this campsite is that you could hike out from here. You don't have to drive. You can. There's a road right here, and it will take you far away. But you could just hike like I did today, 2 directions. So I'm gonna go that way just to kind of check things out. And that's it. It's still exciting, still fun. It beats sitting at home watching TV, right? So let's hope I don't freeze to death tonight. So it's Sunday morning, and I just basically hiked up from the campsite on this hill. It was a pretty steep climb, and I'm just going to sit here and wait. This area is basically the forest, and it's pretty open, as in I know the deer can come through. The only thing is there's no point in using my binoculars because everything is so close up, so I could actually see things with my eyes. And the good thing is I will hear them before I see them because the ground is just covered with twigs and pine needles and things like that. So I could hear everything, and I hear those sounds, unfortunately. Those are squirrels, but I'll just be sitting here and waiting. and a few hours, and then it will be time to go home. So my two main concerns usually are when I go hiking or camping or hunting alone is one, getting lost, and two, getting hurt. So getting hurt, you just have to be careful. I mean, there's really not much to do about that. You know, watch where you step, look where you're going, and just try to be safe. Now, getting lost is a whole other issue. I haven't gotten hurt yet, knock on wood. Getting lost a couple of times, but I mean getting lost wherein for like 10-15 minutes I didn't know where I was, and then I found my way back, or I didn't know how to get back the shortest way, but I knew I would eventually be able to get back. You just have that moment of panic, and then everything is good. But a couple of things you could do about getting lost. For one, you can kind of ribbon your way out, take some ribbons with you, and then just mark your location. I haven't done that, but I got this app. This is the other thing you could do. I got this app last week, and there are lots of apps out there, so you could use any of them. Some are specifically for hunting, and this one, I don't even know most of the features yet, but as you could see, what you can do is you could record your route, and you could go on the way back, or you can just basically mark your campsite, and you don't even really have to record your route. As you see, yesterday I recorded where I hiked out, but then I kind of stopped and I didn't record the rest of it, but I knew how to get back. You just look at that arrow, that orange arrow that is pointing towards the destination, your campsite, and you just follow it. You just have to point your phone in the direction of your campsite, of that destination, and then you know that you are going the right way. And this is pretty cool. It also tells you your altitude and everything, and if you don't have cell phone service, it still tells you your sunset and sunrise, which I have forgotten to check before, and most of the time up here in the mountains there's no cell phone service, and then you can't look at any app to find out the exact sunrise. So this one is pretty cool. So the only advice I'm going to give you in this video is that, and this is very important, is that anytime you go camping or hiking or hunting, even if you don't go by yourself, but if you go by yourself, you have to do this. You tell someone at home where you're going, your exact location, how long you will be gone, and when you will be back. So for example, you say Sunday by 3 p.m. I will be back, or I will make contact. And you take that very seriously, and you tell that person to take that super seriously, because if you're not back by then and they haven't heard from you, they need to call search and rescue, because you could be lying on the bottom of a canyon with a broken foot and you can't get out, or you could be lost aimlessly walking around in the forest, and now you're hungry and you're cold, and you could be hurt too and you just don't know what's going on, and they need to find you. So they have to do this. They can't just be like, oh well, I'll give them some more time. No, 3 p.m. that is a promise, and you have to take this very seriously too. You can't be like, well, I'm on my way, I'll text them at 4 o'clock, because then they have already called search and rescue and you're gonna be in trouble, or it's just a waste of everybody's time, or you have now just trained your family member or your friend not to take you seriously. So this hunt is over. It is now almost noon. It's time to go back up and go home. I am going home empty-handed, but that is perfectly fine. They call it hunting, not shooting, right? When you pull the trigger, that just takes one moment, but it's everything else, the weeks and months and maybe even the years of going at it. Research and just putting in the time and practicing your patience is what leads up to it. So that is what I'm doing right now. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I can't stress this enough. This is not one of those videos where I give you advice on how to do something. This is just me sort of documenting this weekend. If you have any advice on what to do when you hunt solo, leave me a comment. Tell me if I'm doing anything wrong. Tell me if I'm not doing something that I should be doing. I certainly appreciate it. I know I need to spend more time out here, but that's not necessarily something I can help. I have a long weekend coming up in 2 weeks, so I will have Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, so that will be better. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is hunting season in most areas, so let me know the success you had, and don't forget to come back next week. I will probably have another video coming up.